Social. Hey, good magical Monday morning. We be trying something new this morning. Normally I do this from my E of the Artist page, so I hope my regular cast of characters will catch the message that I'm over here this morning and not at E of the Artist. Whew, yes, T. So we are here with the Winter Wellness Workshop. This is our 5th week, and this week we will be talking about social. We started with mental, and then we did environmental. Yay! There's one of the regular cast of characters. We started with mental, then we did environmental, and then we did recreational, physical, and now we're on the emotional. If you missed all of that, you can go over to E of the Artist and catch all of those, or you can go to my YouTube, E of the Artist, and see the things over there on YouTube. So in mental, we talked about, I don't remember, environmental. That is an environment you can take with you everywhere, so you have to make sure that this environment goes with you everywhere and it is healthy. And recreational is something just to make you feel good. It can be whimsical, it's fancy free, it's not about doing it good, it's just about having fun doing it. Like, I suck at bowling, but I have so much fun doing it. That's recreational. It has nothing to do with trying to be good. And physical is about actually getting some stuff done. What can you do in the physical to really help your emotional, your environment, your social, your spiritual, and all the other things that we're going to be talking about, or that we have also already talked about. Physical, what can you do in the actual physical to help your situation out? Do that. And that's important, because when you cannot access your emotions for whatever reason, you don't know how, you're not even aware of them yet, the physical gives you something tangible to do, right? When you don't understand, the physical gives you something tangible to do, and then as you're doing the physical thing, then those things that manifest in the physical, like your emotions, you can work themselves out subconsciously and then maybe consciously when they come to the front. Okay, so woo, these minutes go by fast. 10 minutes. This tea so good. Ooh, I met one of my followers out in real life. They've been at my classes all this time, and I didn't know who they were on Instagram, and they appreciate me making tea online. I be trying to have my stuff together before I get here, and sometimes I've been having to make my tea with y'all. And she let me know she appreciated going on my tea journey with me, so that just might be part of my thing. She said I need to find me a sponsor. I was like, man, look at that type of encouragement. Because I need a tea sponsor for my future moves. I sure do. I'll take one. So anyway, welcome to Monday, Winter Wellness Workshop, where we'll be talking about social. What does that mean? I have no idea, because I did not prepare for class. Social. Oh, yes, I did. Where'd my note go? I don't even like what I wrote here. I like what I came up with on the spot this morning. So social. We are actually very resilient socially until we're not. That is what I believe the children's resiliency is supposed to be used for. Children are very resilient. We know this. We rely on it to get through certain adult problems and be like, oh, they're kids, they'll be all right. They're kids, they'll be all right. But that resiliency, and this really did just hit my head this morning, that resiliency, I believe, is to be used to get through the assholeness of childhood. And that is figuring out who you are. So you're not always the kindest person. You're not always the most giving or understanding. You're a child. You haven't lived long enough to understand any of these things. And so children are very mean. And we all know this. We've all had childhoods at this point. I don't have any children watching me. And I've never been a bully. I can honestly say that. And I've never been the object of bullies at the same time, because they also knew I wasn't the one. So, bullies know who to mess with and who not to mess with. And I wasn't the one to be messed with. But we all know kids are assholes for whatever reason. And so that's what the resiliency of childhood, I believe, is supposed to be used for. That, not helping adults navigate through their adult problems. And we intentionally lean on that. So, yeah. And of course, going back to that, depending on how you get through those things does depend on the parent that you have, or just the adult that you have, period, helping you navigate childhood. Like my mom, kids did pick on me. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't say they didn't try to pick on me. What I said was I wasn't bullied. This burp stuck. Ooh, goodness gracious. Excuse me. Pardon me. So yeah, so when I come home talking about the kids said that, and when kids was picking on me, it was always over something positive. Like I had no control over my hair, my clothes, my mama bringing me lunch, my mama having a nice car, my grandma sending me to school in fur coats. She was from California. She thought I was going to freeze to death. So every winter she would send me a fur coat. And here I am, this little girl in the uptown hood going to school in a fur coat. So anyway, I'm sorry. I had a beautiful childhood. I was just thinking about it. It was really great. So anyway, so I would get made fun of for these stuff. I used to do voiceovers. So you hear me on the radio, they would recognize me on the radio, and so I would get made fun of for these types of things, and it would hurt my feelings because I just wanted to be part of the people, right? That's all we ever do. We just want to belong. We just want to be part of the people. And so I would go home to my mama and be like, "Mama, they said blah 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 blah," and she was like, or especially when they talked about how unappealing I was, how ugly I was. My sister is beautiful. She looked like a black Barbie doll. To this day, she still looked like a black Barbie doll. And here I was, a super little tomboy, hair all over the place, or a little Afro puff, and just whatever. And they would talk about how unappealing I was, and I would go home and run into my mom crying. She'd be like, "What are you crying for?" You know what I'm saying? Like, what you crying about? I don't see their face on the front of no magazine. And I was just like, "Oh yeah, I don't see their face on the magazine." And she's like, "I don't hear their voice over the radio." I was just like, "Oh yeah, they ain't on no radio." You know what I'm saying? So, it all depends on how your parents deal with it. And I think that was better than saying, "Oh baby, it's okay. It's gonna be all right. They don't really mean it." Oh, but that would not have been helpful. That's not helpful. You know what I'm saying? Speak some power into that thing. And my mother did that a lot with any complaint I came home with about children. And so that went on to about 8. And then after 8, you couldn't say nothing to Ia. I knew exactly who I was and how to tell, especially by 12. By the 6th grade, oh, girl, I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know why I said girl. But I don't know who. I was a mess. I mean, a good mess, because at 12, I was very sure who I was. As sure as you could be for a 12-year-old. Of course, I'm still figuring stuff out, but that was probably why bullies from grammar school on through high school or even college, it was bullies in college, never messed with me, because the way my mother dealt with the childhood assholeness and socialized me was good for childhood. Wasn't good for adulthood. I'll explain that tomorrow, because I think we're about out of time. Oh no, we got 4 minutes. I might be able to make it in there. But yeah, so the way my mom prepared me to do battle with the bullies. Whenever somebody say something out their mouth, she empowered me with the words to say to them the next time it was gonna happen, because you knew it was gonna happen again. So she was like, now listen, the next time da 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 da, this is what you say, and shut that shit down. And shut it down. I told her I was gonna stop cussing this year. Shut that joint down. And so when it came up, I would say what my mama told me to say with my little head, because we was all about this back in the 80s. We was all about some of this action. And so I give them all of that with the words that my mama said, and boom, baby. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to mess with me, because my mouth was painful enough. They didn't want to imagine what was behind these 1-2s. So that worked for childhood. She would tell me things like, what is you mad for? And then as I got older, it was reminding me that these people had no control over what was important in life. My bills, my housing, my food. You know what I'm saying? I was one of them people that if you said something about my mama, we going for some. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, mama, bop. We not talking about my mama. That's not what we do over here. And so, but the first time and the last time that it happened, she was just like, did it change my love? Like, why is you fighting over somebody saying something about your mama? Like, it didn't change anything between us. So don't waste your time getting upset about those types of things. And I was just like, oh, that does make sense. And so, you can say whatever you wanted to me. And it didn't rile me up. And this is at 12, which is, 13, 14. You can say whatever you want to me, and I just be like, as long as you don't put your hands on me, we good. You know what I'm saying? And that pretty much made people mad, because they don't want to really have a physical altercation. They just want to fuck with. They just really want to mess with you. You know what I'm saying? So once they ran out of words, and I was just like, you done? They didn't have nothing else to do, because you didn't really want to fight. That's not really what you wanted. So that I think that really diffused a lot of bullies and anybody. And that assuredness I've had for a long time, and unfortunately, a lot of children grow up to be those same adults as they were as children. And that we'll talk about. And so, yes, the emotional intelligence. My mama did that, and it was a great thing. But in adulthood, I've realized how that early emotional intelligence was missing a vital piece for me to be. No, it wasn't. It was just that people keep that same bullshit and assholeness from little kids as they do as adults, and Ia still just ain't trying to deal with it. And I'm honestly really surprised that we don't evolve differently from childhood. Because social emotional development starts in the house. It starts at home. And so I understand why we teach it to little children, but if we're teaching it to kids, what make you think it's not a whole bunch of adults out there that missed it? They were once children. That just hit me. So social emotional development isn't just for children. Social emotional development is for grown-ups, and that's what Thug Hippie is for, because these same broke children grew up to be broke adults. So if we think we need to give all this social emotional development to these kids and all these programs that's focused on children now, remember there's a whole bunch of adults that miss that same love and attention that y'all trying to get to kids today. So you need to refocus, re-understand that everybody needs all these things. Social emotional development, team building, it's all the same basket. Alright, that definitely is time. That was good. Ooh, I can't wait to run it back and listen to myself so I can take my notes, y'all. I am working these things out as I go, because I am moving on to the next part of my career, which is being less physical active and doing more of the teaching and the coaching and the real educating and empowering because that's really what doing all those other things were about. If you come to my yoga class or my dance class, anything that I do, you're going to get all that social emotional development for you. All right, I'm out. It is Monday. The season finna start. I got mad stuff to do. All right, see y'all later somewhere. Y'all. Okay. Oops, I thought I pushed the stop button. Stop button.